Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the thrilling twists surrounding Anna's shocking discovery and the high-stakes drama unfolding with Brennan, Carly, and Joss. In the latest gripping episode of General Hospital, tensions have skyrocketed as Anna Devane uncovers a bombshell secret that's been lurking in the shadows of Port Charles. It all starts when Anna stumbles upon evidence that Jocelyn Jacks, the bright and ambitious young woman we've watched grow up on the show, has secretly joined the ranks of the World Security Bureau WSB. This revelation hits Anna like a freight train, not just because of the inherent dangers of espionage in their already chaotic world, but because it directly involves her tangled web of alliances and rivalries. Picture Anna with her years of experience as a seasoned operative, piecing together clues from intercepted communications and shadowy surveillance footage. Her face hardens with disbelief and fury as she realizes Joss has been pulled into this perilous life, training in covert operations and handling classified intel that could put her in the crosshairs of international threats. Adding layers to this intrigue, Anna learns that Joss's involvement was no accident. It's been orchestrated under the radar, blending her personal ambitions with the high-risk demands of the agency. What truly ignites Anna's rage is the betrayal at the heart of it all. Brennan has been keeping this explosive truth hidden from Carly Spencer. Brennan, with his charming yet calculating demeanor, has been romancing Carly, weaving a romantic narrative that's captivated fans. Their dates at cozy Port Charles spots, filled with whispered promises and stolen glances, now seem tainted by this deception. Anna confronts Brennan in a tense, dimly lit encounter, her voice laced with accusation as she demands to know why he would endanger Joss without a word to her protective mother. Brennan's usual suave confidence cracks just a bit, revealing the internal conflict of a man caught between his professional duties and personal affections. He admits to overseeing Joss's recruitment, perhaps seeing potential in her fiery spirit that mirrors his own past, but insists it was meant to be temporary and controlled. Yet, Anna isn't buying it. She sees this as a reckless power play that could shatter lives. Seizing the moment, Anna issues a chilling ultimatum to Brennan, vowing to expose everything to Carly. Imagine the scene, Anna leaning in close, her eyes blazing with determination as she spells out the consequences. Carly, fiercely maternal and no stranger to the underbelly of Port Charles intrigue, from her mob ties to her endless battles for her family's safety, will never stand for her daughter. Stepping into the deadly world of spies, Joss, with her history of youthful rebellions and heartfelt loyalties, might have been drawn in by the allure of adventure or a desire to make a difference. Perhaps inspired by stories of Anna's own exploits or even Jason Morgan's shadowy past. But Carly's reaction would be volcanic. She'd likely storm into the WSB offices herself, demanding Joss's immediate extraction and possibly unleashing a tirade that could unravel Brennan's carefully constructed facade. Anna knows this leverage is her strongest weapon, especially since Brennan and Carly's relationship has blossomed into something genuine, complete with romantic getaways on shared secrets that have fans rooting for them despite the odds. Shifting gears in this roller coaster plot, Anna arranges a clandestine meeting with Jason Morgan, the stoic enforcer whose return to Port Charles has already stirred up old flames and new conflicts. They rendezvous at a secluded spot, perhaps the docks under the cover of night, where Anna confides her findings, seeking Jason's insight or even his muscle to navigate the fallout. Jason, ever the loyal protector, listens intently, his mind racing through potential alliances and threats. Their conversation delves into the broader implications. Joss's involvement could tie into larger WSB operations targeting pikemen or other shadowy organizations that have plagued the town. But before they can formulate a plan, the story takes a dark turn. Carly is suddenly abducted by Brennan's operatives. Whisked away in a black van under the veil of darkness, she's transported to a foreboding warehouse on the outskirts of town, its rusty doors creaking open to reveal a stark industrial lair filled with crates and flickering fluorescent lights. The kidnappers, masked and efficient, ensure she's unharmed but isolated, heightening the suspense as viewers wonder if this is the start of a larger conspiracy. Inside the warehouse, Brennan emerges from the shadows, his expression a mix of regret and resolve. He approaches Carly, who demands answers with her trademark fire, but the focus quickly shifts back to Anna, who's now also ensnared in this web. Brennan clarifies his stance in a monologue that's equal parts confession and threat. He has no desire to harm Anna, whom he respects as a formidable peer in the espionage game. Their shared history of covert missions and narrow escapes adds a poignant layer to this confrontation, making his words carry genuine weight. However, Brennan is adamant about preserving his budding romance with Carly, which has brought a rare spark of happiness to his otherwise solitary life. He paints a picture of their future quiet evenings away from the chaos, building something real amid the deception. But if Anna persists in revealing Joss's secret, potentially driving a wedge that could end it all, Brennan warns he's prepared to take drastic measures, even eliminating her to protect what he's found. This revelation adds a chilling depth to his character, transforming him from a suave operator into a man willing to cross moral lines for love. As the drama intensifies, Brennan proposes a compromise to defuse the situation. He pledges to immediately dismiss Joss from the WSB, ensuring she never sets foot in their operations again. To sweeten the deal, he outlines a cover story. Joss could be reassigned to a mundane civilian role, perhaps interning at a local charity or pursuing her medical interests at General Hospital, allowing her to step back without suspicion. Brennan emphasizes that this move isn't just about appeasing Anna, but safeguarding Joss from the escalating dangers of fieldwork, where agents face everything from double crosses to life-threatening assignments. He implores Anna to keep the entire affair under wraps, not just from Carly but from anyone who might exploit the information bit rival factions or even Sonny Corinthos, whose influence could turn this into a full-blown war. The plea is laced with vulnerability, as Brennan admits his fear of losing Carly's trust, which he's worked so hard to earn through small gestures like surprise picnics and heartfelt conversations about their past heartbreaks. Faced with her own precarious position bound and guarded in the warehouse, with limited options, for Escapino weighs the risks. She's no stranger to captivity, having endured similar ordeals in her storied career, but this time it's personal, intertwined with the lives of those she cares about. Reluctantly, she agrees to Brennan's terms, recognizing that pushing further could ignite a chain reaction of violence that endangers everyone involved. In her mind, flashes of potential outcomes play out. Joss pulled deeper into danger, Carly heartbroken and vengeful, Jason caught in the crossfire. By holding her tongue, Anna buys time, perhaps plotting her next move in silence while ensuring Joss's safety. This uneasy truce leaves viewers on the edge of their seats, pondering if Anna will truly stay silent or if her innate sense of justice will compel her to act. As the episode closes, the warehouse doors slam shut, symbolizing the sealed secrets that could unravel at any moment. Next, we will uncover the escalating turmoil in Port Charles as Harrison Chase unleashes a devastating ultimatum on Brooklyn Quartermain, pushing their once solid marriage to the brink amid a storm of family secrets and bitter rivalries. The tension in Port Charles has reached fever pitch, with Harrison Chase stripping away any pretense of patience and delivering a gut-wrenching confrontation to his wife, Brooklyn Quartermain, that threatens to unravel the very fabric of their union. What started as whispers of discord has exploded into a full-blown crisis, ripping through relationships and leaving emotional wreckage in its wake. At the center of this maelstrom is the shocking nurse's bald disclosure that young Giovanni Dio Palmieri is actually the biological son of Brooklyn and Danda Falconieri, a truth unearthed with ruthless efficiency by none other than Lulu Spencer, who timed her reveal like a master strategist plotting the perfect takedown. This bombshell didn't just stun the attendees. It triggered a cascade of betrayals and accusations that have families scrambling for cover. Inventing a vivid scene from that fateful night, picture the glittering ballroom falling silent as Lulu steps to the microphone, her eyes locked on Brooklyn, delivering the news with a calm that belies the years of pent-up fury fueling her actions. Chase, ever the devoted husband who's weathered storms like fabricated pregnancies and high-stakes corporate battles alongside Brooklyn, now finds himself at his limit. His loyalty tested by her relentless pursuit of vengeance over reconciliation. Chase's frustration boils over in a raw, honest exchange that lays bare the cracks in their Challen partnership, as he firmly declares that their dreams of expanding their family through adoption are on indefinite hold until Brooklyn addresses the chaos she's helped create. It's a stance born from deep-seated pain. After enduring the heartbreak of infertility caused by a malicious poisoning, Chase had clung to the hope of building a home with adopted children, only to watch his wife prioritize her grudge match with Lulu over their shared future. Who could fault him for this boundary? The detective's world has been upended, forcing him to question if their marriage can survive when revenge takes precedence over healing. Adding a layer of invented depth, envision Chase pacing their living room, his badge glinting under the lamp as he recounts the sleepless nights spent worrying about Gio's well-being, urging Brooklyn to shift her energy from feuds to forging a genuine connection with the son she gave up long ago. Yet, the path to resolution seems insurmountable, as Gio grapples with the shattering reality that his entire upbringing was shrouded in deception, feeling discarded like an unwanted relic from a forgotten chapter. The teenager's anger simmers, manifesting in cold shoulders and avoided glances whenever Brooklyn attempts outreach, his trust eroded by the public spectacle that exposed his origins without mercy. Meanwhile, Lulu Spencer emerges as a force of calculated fury, her awakening from a 4-year coma propelling her into a relentless campaign that's as much about reclaiming her life as it is about settling old scores. Far from a quest for truth or fairness regarding Dancy, her deep dive into Brooklyn's hidden teenage pregnancy reeks of personal vendetta, rooted in a toxic history that dates back over a decade. Flash back to 2010, when Brooklyn was enlisted by the cunning Carly Corinthos to infiltrate Dante and Lulu's budding romance, resorting to underhanded tactics like slipping him a drug to orchestrate a seduction that nearly destroyed their bond. That betrayal lingers like a scar, amplified by Lulu's time in limbo, during which the world and her family marched on without her. Now, armed with fresh determination, Lulu's not content to let bygones be bygones. She's weaving a web of intrigue that's set to ensnare her rival even further. Spoilers whisper of an unexpected ally joining her side, adding fuel to this already blazing conflict and promising twists that could redefine allegiances in Port Charles. The identity of Lulu's new partner in this vendetta remains a tantalizing mystery, with several intriguing candidates poised to tip the scales in dramatic fashion. Could it be the formidable Liesl Obrecht, whose timely return to town coincides suspiciously with Brooklyn's probing into sensitive past events? Liesl's involvement in the original embryo heist that birthed Rocco positions her as a potent wildcard, her sharp intellect and no-nonsense demeanor making her an ideal collaborator for Lulu's schemes. Imagine Liesl, with her signature accent and piercing gaze, sharing clandestine meetings in dimly lit cafes, dishing out secrets that could dismantle Brooklyn's world. Alternatively, what if Gio himself, still reeling from the betrayal, sides with Lulu's very person who brought his truth to light, delivering a crushing blow to Brooklyn by aligning with her arch-nemesis? This invented scenario could see Gio confiding in Lulu over late-night talks, his youthful vulnerability drawing him into her orbit as she offers the stability he craves. There's also buzz about Cody Bell stepping into the fray, with hints of chance encounters sparking a connection that might evolve from platonic support to something more romantic, potentially distracting Lulu from her single-minded pursuit of Dante and adding layers of complexity to her emotional recovery. Undeterred by the mounting opposition, Brooklyn Quartermain channels her inner fighter, diving headfirst into a counteroffensive that's as audacious as it is perilous, targeting the murky details of Rocco Falconderi's conception and birth. This isn't mere retaliation. It's a high-stakes gamble delving into one of GH's most convoluted histories, where Dr. Britt Westburn and her mother Liesl orchestrated the theft of an embryo from Dandy and Lulu's fertility clinic, implanting it in Britt, who then masqueraded as the mother alongside Patrick Drake for months before the deception unraveled. Brooklyn's sleuthing, fueled by Quartermain resources like private investigators and archived medical records, aims to unearth discrepancies that could rewrite everything. For a quick invented refresher, recall the lab mix-ups and forged documents that plagued that era, with embryos mishandled amid hospital chaos, setting the stage for Brooklyn's potential bombshell discovery. The rumor mill is ablaze with a theory that could detonate like a powder keg. What if the embryo in question wasn't Dandy and Lulu's at all, but actually belonged to Britt, making Rocco her biological child and stripping Lulu of her maternal claim? This revelation would shatter years of narrative bedrock, severing the cherished bond between Lulu and Rocco in a move of mutual devastation that spares no one. Fans are divided, some thrilled by the prospect of such a seismic shift that could explore themes of identity and loss, while others dread the erasure of established connections. Picture the fallout, courtroom battles, emotional breakdowns, and realignments that force characters like Dante to choose sides in an impossible war. As this saga unfolds, Port Charles braces for more explosions, with Brooklyn's quest for Truther vengeance poised to either redeem her or destroy everything she holds dear. Next, we will delve into the jaw-dropping resurrection of Britt Westburn, the fan-favorite Britt who's clawed her way back from the grave, sparking wild theories about fake deaths, secret accomplices, and hidden agendas in the shadowy underbelly of Port Charles. The return of Britt Westburn to the bustling world of General Hospital has sent shockwaves through the fandom, proving once again that in Port Charles, death is often just a dramatic pause rather than a final curtain call. What was believed to be her tragic end collapsing into her mother Liesl Obrich's embrace after a fatal encounter with the villainous Huckno appears to be an elaborate ruse, leaving viewers buzzing with questions about whether she orchestrated her own disappearance and, crucially, if an ally lent a hand in pulling off such an audacious deception. Fans have erupted in excitement online, flooding social media with memes and rewatches of her most iconic moments, from her scheming days as a doctor to her heartfelt vulnerabilities. Inventing a fresh layer to her comeback, picture Britt emerging from the shadows with that signature smirk, her white coat swapped for incognito attire, as whispers of her survival first surface through cryptic clues like anonymous tips to the PCPD or fleeting sightings in distant locales. This twist echoes GH's storied tradition of resurrections, where characters like Jason Morgan have defied the odds multiple times, reminding us that soap opera graves are notoriously shallow. Britt's demise was no vague presumption. Audiences witnessed her final breaths, complete with emotional farewells and medical monitors flatlining, yet here she stands, alive and plotting, ready to reclaim her place amid the chaos. Among those hit hardest by Britt's supposed passing were her fiercely protective mother, Liesl, and her ride-or-die confidant, Brad Cooper, whose unbreakable bond formed the backbone of some of the show's most memorable mischief. Liesl, the formidable doctor with a penchant for mad science, cradled her daughter in what seemed like genuine grief, her wails echoing through the hospital corridors as she mourned the loss of her only child. But it was Brad, Britt's ultimate partner in crime, who truly embodied the devastation, his world crumbling after years of shared escapades that ranged from baby-switching scandals to late-night plotting sessions over stolen hospital supplies. As Britt's closest ally, Brad had been her anchor following the wily custody fiasco that left him isolated and jobless. She not only reinstated him as a lab technician, but elevated him with her influence as chief of staff, helping him rebuild his life piece by piece. Their dynamic was electric in clandestine meetings in dimly lit labs, exchanging witty banter while concocting plans that bent every ethical rule. Adding an invented element, recall how Brad once covered for Britt during a risky procedure involving experimental drugs, their laughter masking the high stakes, which now fuels speculation that their loyalty ran deep enough to stage a death so convincing it fooled even the sharpest minds in Port Charles. The possibility that Brad played a pivotal role in Britt's vanishing act adds a delicious layer of intrigue, painting him as the perfect accomplice in a scheme that reeks of their signature unethical flair. Devastated on the surface, Brad's tears at her memorial might have been part of the performance, a calculated display to deflect suspicion while he secretly administered hospital-sourced drugs to simulate her death, perhaps a potent cocktail of sedatives and paralytics that mimicked cardiac arrest without causing real harm. This wouldn't be uncharted territory in Port Charles, where faked deaths have become almost routine, from Helena Casadin's multiple endings to Victor's elaborate escapes using cutting-edge tech. Brad's history of bending rules, like tampering with lab results during the Wiley saga, makes him an ideal collaborator. He thrives in moral gray areas, and his devotion to Britt knows no bounds. Envisioning a secretive flashback, imagine the duo huddled in a hidden hospital wing, Britt whispering instructions as Brad injects the serum, their eyes locking in a pact of eternal friendship before she slips into feigned oblivion. Such a plot could herald Brad's triumphant return to the canvas, as Britt's revival would feel incomplete without her mischievous sidekick, potentially drawing him back into the fold for more chaotic adventures that blend humor with high drama. Unraveling the motive behind Britt's decision to let the world mourn her opens doors to compelling theories tied to her ongoing battle with Huntington's disease, a cruel inheritance that loomed over her final days on screen. By vanishing under the guise of death, she might have sought the freedom to pursue unconventional treatments or a elusive cure, far from the prying eyes of friends and foes who could interfere with her desperate quest. This self-imposed exile could involve underground research networks or black market clinics, allowing her to chase experimental therapies without the burden of daily life in Port Charles. Enter Professor Dalton, the enigmatic figure whose shady activities have raised eyebrows, possibly escalating from animal testing to human trials in a bid for groundbreaking medical breakthroughs. Spoilers suggest Dalton's lab might be a hub for risky procedures, with Britt volunteering as a test subject in exchange for a shot at halting her disease's progression. Imagine sterile rooms filled with beeping machines and glowing vials, where Dalton's team monitors her vitals, blending hope with ethical nightmares. Inventing an additional twist, perhaps Dalton's involvement stems from a past connection to Liesl's own scientific pursuits, creating a web of family secrets that ties Britt's fate to broader conspiracies involving genetic manipulation and forbidden experiments. However, Britt's carefully constructed hideaway may not remain secret for long, as a trio of determined pursuers closes in on her location at the luxurious Five Poppies Resort and Spa nestled along Croatia's stunning Adriatic coast. Jason Morgan, with his unyielding sense of justice and history of globe-trotting rescues, teams up with the resourceful Jocelyn Jacks and the mysterious Vaughn, their journey fueled by cryptic leads that point to Britt's survival. This convergence promises explosive confrontations as the group navigates the resort's opulent pools, spa treatments, and hidden coves, perhaps stumbling upon clues like discarded medical files or overheard whispers in foreign accents. Fans eagerly anticipate revelations about her fake death and any accomplices. Though true to GH form, the answers might unfold at a tantalizingly slow pace, building suspense through red herrings and cliffhangers. Adding an invented detail, envision Jason spotting a familiar silhouette by the resort's infinity pool at sunset, his stoic demeanor cracking as memories of their complicated past flirtations mixed with betrayals flood back, setting the stage for a reunion that's equal parts tense and tender. As this storyline simmers, the fan theory that Brad was Britt's key helper in staging her demise continues to gain traction. But alternatives abound. Could Liesl have masterminded it all with her vast knowledge? Or is Dalton the true puppet master? What do you think drove Britt to such extremes, and who might be her secret ally? Share your theories in the comments below, and keep watching General Hospital for the next thrilling chapter.